plays The Thing with your host, Judy Sleed. Our guest today, Tom DeMaio, Broadway producer. Underwritten by Windmill Village, Gurney's Inn, and Paul Brennan. Now here's Judy.
Names.
You should always.
Hello once again to the plays The Thing, and I have my good friend and famous producer, Broadway, Tommy DeMaio. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Stand by on 3.
So nice of you to take time out from your busy schedule to come here. I know you go back and forth to New York. I should buy you a roller skate for your birthday.
I'll take it. When are you going to buy them? Can I pick them out?
Yes, what color you want?
That's difficult.
Well,
stand by on 1.
let's start with your current work. You just opened up. Actually, it's not even open. It's in previews.
That it is.
Lily,
Butley.
get off you.
I hear it's excellent. I only hear very, very good things about it. So tell us a little bit. What do you think is going to happen with it, and how do you feel about this show?
Well, all the questions you asked, I have to say ridiculous things. First of all, I will say that it's in previews, and it opens October 26th, and it's with Nathan Lane, and he's absolutely fabulous in it. That's not my viewpoint only. It's lots of people that have seen the show as we're talking. And he has a great talent. He is not a comedian in this play. He's totally a star of great acting abilities, drama, black comedy, but it's not really black comedy. They say it's black comedy because the English say it's black comedy, but it's quite tragedy. And for the first 5 minutes you think it's a joke. His very English accent, his very dramatic quality. But then once you get into the 10 minutes of it, it just mind boggles. It just absolutely sends you to a different idea of Nathan Lane. He's excellent.
Well, I can't wait to see it.
You're seeing it Sunday.
Sunday, yes.
Which we have a lot of people coming Sunday, and then I'm throwing a big party for some people. Period on that one.
Yes.
So I have about 60 people coming in from all over the country to see it.
And we're all buying you presents.
Yeah, that's good.
You're going to be 40, right?
41.
Oh, 41, okay. So you...
But this is a show that I've done, and I've been producing with Liz McCann for about...
I remember way back.
Yeah, our first show was...
My Fat Friend.
With Lynn Redgrave.
Yes.
And then we did Home, and Morning at 7, and Dracula, and Piaf, and...
well, you did a lot.
Yes, we did 8 shows together.
And now you are preparing for another one.
Yes, I'm doing a show from London. I'm bringing it here called See You on Tuesday, which I did in London, and I will probably be bringing it here in March, hopefully.
With Liz McCann?
That's
a different one.
I cannot say that.
Oh, you cannot say that.
That's all. Everything is in negotiations. But I'm sure Liz will do it if I wanted to. We've been doing things together for 40 years.
I remember way back.
And the producers that are in this show, one of the producers have 3 major shows on Broadway at this moment. They have 4 or 5. They're all in the program. But major.
What about, in the beginning I read that Scott Rudin was involved in this, and I don't see his name in the playbill.
He decided to do with this show maybe with a tour. Right now he's very busy with the Queen, which probably will get him a Academy Award.
I cannot believe it, as I told you before, that he went to school, high school with my daughter. And I used to chauffeur. I was a designated chauffeur, and I was chauffeuring him and my daughter and the friends all
What's your daughter's name?
Baldwin. What?
What's your daughter's name?
Oh, Jody.
Oh, I thought it was just the name. I was curious. A lot of people name children differently now, especially Moses.
Yes, Jody. I'm
Hazel
sure he remembers us. And one of the funniest things that stands out in my mind that at one time he was in the back seat and we were talking, and I said something and he got hysterical. He couldn't stop laughing.
I had mentioned your name to him, but he couldn't recognize it.
Oh, I'm sure he would.
No, I did a few days ago. Maybe it was last night or the night before. I went to see the opening of a charity for the Queen, the movie.
Yeah.
And I had said Judy Sleed.
Well, if you would have said Mrs. Sleed, he would have remembered. And Judy Sleed. Oh, I'm sure he remembers.
Well, you know, I think you forget a lot of people in the, you know, years and years and years ago. But you never know. But I did mention Judy Sleed.
Well, he didn't know me as Judy.
Well, as you said, and I quote you, there's very few Sleeds in the world.
That's true.
Right? So Sleed would be an ideal name.
Outstanding name.
So I guess, but I will call it to attention. Opening night, he's throwing a party for all of us. So, and he's now he's going. I mean, he's been producing now big major. He's Miramax. It's just as big as Miramax, if not bigger.
I know. He did well.
We all do well. You're living, you do well. You're healthy, you do well. You must go into that.
I do very well. It's just that he started, you know, when he was quite young.
So did you.
High school.
Didn't you start? What was the first time you did a show? You were very young.
Not that young.
Oh, I remember it was 40 years ago. Was it not 40 years ago on Broadway? Or I mean, off Broadway?
Broadway.
Am I right?
Yes.
40 years ago, and you're just still doing the same show.
Yeah.
You don't want to change. You can't go back. You have to go forward.
Well, I happen to like it.
But nobody. Well, let's listen. This is what the producers do. They tell writers, listen, give up, start something new.
I am doing something.
Oh, I'm glad. Because you just can't do something 40 years ago.
You'll be the first one to read it when I finish.
Because I've read this one that you've been doing and been doing and been doing and been doing. It doesn't work that way.
Well, thanks for the advice.
You're welcome. That's free. But the next one will be my check. But, you know, you have to give up on something. Let go.
Well, you know how
a lot of people,
hold on to things. I've saved things from years back.
But I mean,
all the things you gave, I still have all the things you gave me.
There's a show called Mac and Mabel that Jerry Herman did. And and now he's done Dolly and he's done Mame. And he says Mac and Mabel, which was a big flop. He just insists to revive it, and he gets all the money from himself, he revives it, and it becomes a flop again, and a flop again.
Maybe you never know. One day it's going to be a big hit.
Yeah, but I don't think I can live that long, nor can you. So that's why you should go on to new things, like Scott Rudin.
Okay, let's go on to Barbara Streisand.
Oh, what about Barbara Streisand?
I heard you talking about her the other day.
Oh, I went to see a concert Monday night. It was the opening in New York City. And she was absolutely, this is a great story. She's telling the audience how people really are talking so badly about her that nothing is true. That they tell me that nobody's allowed to look at me in the face. They're supposed to turn their heads. And she said, that's so untrue. And they said I fire people here and I fire people there, and that's not true. It's all lies. I mean, I'm nice. I've let everybody talk. I mean, I am a nice person. Now, I know for a fact when she did the MGM show at 2000, she told everyone, don't look at me. I know, because I know the people at MGM. But that's besides the point. Anyway, when you see a concert and you're paying $1,000 or $300 or $500, you want to hear her sing. And you know, I don't especially, and there are a lot of people that don't want to hear your political viewpoints, Democrat or Republican, whatever have you. And she brings out this look-alike about George Bush, and she just starts putting it was horrible. So one of the people in the audience, several, said, we don't want to hear about your Democrat or Republican. We want to hear you sing. We don't want to hear your viewpoints of what you are. And she's getting more bitter, and people, as she was saying more about George Bush, people were getting more angry. And she goes to the audience, and there are kids there. There are 10s and 5s and 8-year-old kids and 12-year-old kids and grandma. And she turns around to the audience and she goes to the guys, and or woman or whoever it was, and she uses an F word. And I never in my life heard anybody, and say it. You know, a dirty comedian, you know, but telling me how fabulous she is and how charming she is and how, you know, And she was totally wrong. First of all, about her viewpoints, because, you know, we don't want to know about it.
Yes.
And second of all, about cursing people out in the audience when things are there. It was mind-boggling.
So,
You know,
did she get a lot of attention?
she got a lot of booze. She got a lot of booze.
And there were no news in the paper about it?
I think it made news all over. It made news.
Oh, that's really...
But she did apologize after she said it. You know, it took her one song and then she apologized. She says it's not like her. It's not like her to be a bitch. And it's almost funny. So that's, you know, that's the Barbra Streisand story. Then we went to a party afterwards with her and Oprah and some of the other people. And she was really sorry she did it, but she does have a quick temper. We all have quick tempers. Not me.
No, not you, not you. No.
But I don't think I would go to an audience and say, you know. And then she says, give that person back the money. And everybody who didn't like it wanted their money back. And people paid $1,500 for a pair of tickets.
What if she's going to see this show? I hope she's not going to be after you.
I don't know. This is America, Judy. Where are you from?
Oh, I'm from Hungary.
This is America.
Oh, it's different over here.
We can say anything we wish, and God is good to us. You have to realize. That's why I said about your show.
You
Freedom of speech.
Anything.
I don't think you should, with your talent, which you have, you should leave the dead alone and revive the young and the new. And what do I always tell you about writing? About your life. Your life is
you always
interesting.
told me I should write your life.
No, not my life. Your life. Your life is an interesting life from this square one. If you wrote about your life
and
wrote about
now.
Wait, there was a movie or something like that.
No, there was never a movie.
There was a movie. What was the Little Woman? When she wrote about the nonsense, and the gentleman told her, write about your family, your life, something you know about.
Yes.
And it was a huge success. She wrote Little Woman.
Oh, you mean Louisa May Alcott?
Yes, and that's what she did. But she was writing all this fiction and about a parrot and then a canary.
I know. This is an old, I hear it ever since I started, ever since I wrote my first poem when I was 8, write about what you know.
So,
well,
do you know about parrots? Do you know about parrots?
No, the only thing I know about parrot is...
Because, you know, Tony and David have parrots that they worship.
I don't even know where I got that idea about the parrot.
But you got the idea? Do you think it came from the spirits? Do you believe in spirits?
I do.
So did you get it from a spirit?
Yes.
And you can't let it go?
No, it's still in me, the spirit won't let go.
And you still going to do the show?
No, not this year.
Oh,
Maybe
thank God. You're sparing the public again. That's good. You're doing a good feature.
Okay, darling, tell us about the chorus line.
I was just talking to one of your friends here. What's his name?
Lee Davis?
Yes. And he went to see it, and he said it was...
The real Lee Davis.
Was there a fake one?
There's another one, yes. He's not here right now.
Well, I went to see it opening night last Thursday, and I thought it was fabulous. I remember the opening night in the 1970s and whatever have you. And, I mean, the show was just magnificent. And they got the worst review. The New York Times, the Post, gave it the worst review, and I just can't believe it. So anything can happen, but it's just mind-boggling how they said, don't even go see it. When everybody should go see it. It's a production of grand style and talent.
Well, you know, there were a lot of flops.
I did a lot of flops.
I remember.
We all have flops.
You remember Marilyn, the show?
Yeah, I did that.
I know.
It opened and closed.
Yeah.
Well, I did a show with, I forgot his name. It was called Frankenstein. Do you remember the guy who owned the restaurant? Joe Kipnis. He produced it with me and Liz and all. And it was magnificent at the Palace Theater, and it was at that time, it was a $5 million production, and it opened 2 days before Christmas, and it was just magnificent, and it closed the following day. It does happen, even with bird shows. It does happen. You know, we've done some, as I told the girls, I did Dracula in New York City. I made millions of dollars in Dracula, and I took my whole family to the opening night in London. We had everyone the same except the star, and the show closed the following day.
It all depends on spirits.
Oh, good. Is that who told you about the birds? About your parakeet? I don't think anybody knows what we're talking about. Do they know that you wrote a show about 45 years ago about the parrot?
45. Why didn't you say 60?
Well, you did it
60
45.
years
How
ago.
many years ago did you write it?
I don't know. I don't count. I only know how to count up to 10. I don't know how many years ago it was.
40.
But I wrote that. First, I wrote a short story, and I don't even know what possessed me. And
The spirits.
and then I made it into a play because I wanted to impress somebody who was, at the time, he had a theater. So he had 2 summer theaters out in the island. And it just so happens he invited me over to his house for Christmas, and he said, bring the play, I want to read it. Well, his motive was not to read it, but he just wanted company because he was all alone. And besides, he was into serious stuff. He doesn't like comedy.
Is it a comedy?
He should rest in peace.
The
Yes.
Bird is a comedy?
Yes. Okay.
I never knew that. I thought it was sad. Every time I saw it, I cried.
Oh, you are just so funny. Just so funny.
So when are you going to come to Broadway?
As an actress?
No. As
Somebody in the audience?
Yes. Besides seeing Butley, what else have you seen on Broadway?
I haven't been to New York. It's too much of an effort to go to the city.
Oh, I hope everybody doesn't think that way.
No, a lot of people
We get
I
a lot.
know go.
You must support the theater in any means you can.
Yes.
Especially going to the theater is the most important thing to do. It's
In the whole
supporting the
wide
theater,
world.
and we have cheap tickets and inexpensive tickets and student tickets. It's most important to bring an audience to the theater, and
Right.
it should never be inconvenience for anyone, especially
No.
that you can go and you're physically able to go.
Yes.
You should make it a habit, at least go once a month to the theater to support the
Right,
arts.
if they have senior discounts.
They have all
Or
kinds of.
professional discounts. I should.
You don't look for discounts. You look to support the art. Especially during you don't look for a discount. You look
No.
to support the arts. That's the most
You're
important
right.
thing.
Right, because we want people to make more shows. To put on
Yes,
Broadway.
and more, and for the kids, there's children's shows, and there's the
And,
ballet,
well,
there's the opera.
Tell me, have you seen anything out here this past summer that you think could go to Broadway?
No.
Oh, that was a very quick no.
Well, I didn't see that. I saw the Bay Street Playhouse, 2 productions, which are going off Broadway, which they're known for the off-Broadway productions. And they had, in Guildhall, they had no original work.
No, I keep telling them to do original things, but it's very difficult.
Well, but Bay Street does it. They do a lot of.
Well,
I think once the Guildhall they're redoing it, and
Yes.
and they have great sponsors and great. They have new staff, I think. They'll start bringing in new productions because they had lots of readings of new productions.
Yes.
But it went nowhere because they were very
No.
weak. But
No, because it was just, a lot of work goes into
a lot. Listen, when you do a show, when I did See You on Tuesday, it took from when I got the script till I got it on. It took me almost 2.5 years before it opened on Broadway.
I know.
It'll take
takes
2.5
lot of-
years. So everything takes time.
That's why all these theaters out here, they like plays that were tried and done.
Like what?
Anything
Well,
that
tell me
they
what you
do.
saw here that you enjoyed.
I wasn't talking about what I enjoyed. I'm talking about
Well, what did you see?
what I saw.
Yes.
South Pacific was one, and then Annie, and all those old Broadway shows that they do here.
And
Because
how did you enjoy them?
fair,
Just fair?
just fair.
Why?
I
The
guess
songs are the same, and you can
Yeah.
sit down and hear South Pacific and just hear the music and love it.
right.
Was the
Well,
acting bad? The direction bad? What was?
I guess it just needs more rehearsals and more polish. And they don't pay as much as they do in Broadway. I mean,
That's
these are-
ridiculous.
they
The time you go to
do
Broadway, you
very,
work hard. It's a ridiculous
I
statement.
mean, the people out here, the actors, they work for money during the day, and they do this in the spare time, which is a big difference. When you're a professional actor,
No, it's
you
not a
don't do
big difference
anything.
at all. The majority of people, especially in this show, or in any of the shows I do, some of them were waitresses and waiters, and they work 8 to 10 to 15 hours a day. at night, and they do their callings during the day. And they work, we have auditions usually from 8 to 3 in the afternoon. 90% of them are waitresses, waiters, delivery men and women. I mean, they all work. It's ridiculous. Everybody works until they make an income of it.
Well, don't tell me that Nathan Lane works.
That's a ridiculous statement, Judy.
Well, you're talking about actors and actors.
Nathan Lane, 30 years ago when he started, was a waiter. A waiter. He waited on restaurants downtown New York and in Brooklyn and Long Island. He scrubbed floors, he'd clean toilets till he got a break.
Well, till he got a break.
Well,
yeah.
that's what you just said, and I quote you, Judy, that the people here...
You are so good at quoting me.
Well, because I'm listening to you, as shocking as it is.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to do something, they'll do it. It's like...
You put your best foot forward.
Or backwards, depending on... But if you go to New York City or California or any where there is a show business atmosphere, the people, 90% of them work as Barbara Streisand says, she mentioned 3 of the places she was working in. Cats, the delicatessen, that's how she... I mean, she worked at Cats in New York City, at delicatessen. That's how she got a fondness of potato knishes. This is what, you know. But you take any star, except that a guy who's married to Debbie Moore, what is his name, Cushman or whatever. He says he went to California looking for a job. First day he got there, he got a job on the 70s show as a star. It does happen.
I heard about somebody else who...
But 90% of the people, like in here, if you want to do something here, you can be seen, because the audience here, there's a lot of producers, there's a lot of directors, there's a lot of writers, there's a lot of things that happen here. So, but
have you seen anything
here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen several things. But, and 1 or 2 people, I gave them my card. They were auditioning, because I thought they were very good. One was a funny comedian. But there's always hope. So, you know, and people have to work. That's what life's about, working hard to get somewhere. Nobody's going to give you anything just sitting down.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
People say, oh, I'm so lonely, I don't do this. Nobody's going to knock at your door. You have to get out and accomplish. And I don't care if you're 20 or 99. I was sitting with a woman who's 98, and she's telling me that her daughter's giving her trouble. She wants to buy a new car, and it's her money, and the daughter says, you don't need a new car, Mark. Why don't you have the other one? Look at all the dents you have. She's telling me I have dents in my car. She doesn't want me to buy a new car, and she's 98 years old. So you never know.
Well, if she's 98, then she should have a new car.
Well, maybe. I mean, but if you take some of the great stars, look at Jessica Tandy. She won an Academy Award when she was in the 80s, and she did movies since 1939.
Eli Wallach and Jackson, they are still going great.
Well, why shouldn't they?
I mean, he's over 90, I think.
You could be over. Today, there's no such thing as an age limit.
No.
There's no such thing as any limit. We have no limits in anything. I mean,
the sky is the limit.
Not really, not today. It's called all in.
We're going further than the sky.
Well, what do you call it? In the Neiman Marcus Christmas catalog, you could take a ride to the moon. And it's a Christmas gift, and there's only one, and it's $2,700,000 if you want to go to the moon.
Oh, he should have more than one. I mean,
they only do one every 5 years. They do one every 5 years for a person who has that money.
Yeah. So how come you didn't go yet?
I don't like heights.
You're afraid of heights.
I don't like heights. I don't even like go up the Eiffel Tower. All the places I go, I drive through, like the Eiffel Tower or each of the pyramids and all. I'm not a height person. I like to see everything on a low level.
Low level.
Do you know?
Easier.
Do you like heights?
No. No, I don't. As a matter of fact,
I was going to buy you for Christmas. You just persuaded me not to.
I'm also afraid. I can't look at movies when they are way up high.
Oh, Max.
And if they walk by, by the window, I always look away. I'm always afraid they're going to fall down.
You don't like violent movies either?
No. I like comedies and sweet and nice, and I have that on my answering machine. I only want to hear nice and sweet messages. Or you left me a wonderful message. I'm going to put that on my tape and keep it forever.
Well, the only thing I don't understand about your message is, how do you know if they're smiling or not? Or is it your sixth sense? I'd like to know, do you have a sixth sense?
No, because when you're smiling, you're not going to say anything nasty.
No, that's not true. Absolutely not true at all.
Of course,
You know me.
Yeah, I know. You,
I had to do it with a
that
smile.
Sweet smile, and you say something.
Well, that's the way you should be.
Would you believe that we've been chatting here for 3 hours?
And 10 minutes. 3 hours and 10 minutes.
So we're going to have to say, I hope whoever is watching go see Butley, which is a wonderful, wonderful play. I have a friend who went to see it besides you. And also you could watch The Play is the Thing. And in Manhattan also. What channel are we on?
35.
Are you sure?
Well, you asked the question, why would I give you an unsure thing? Are you sure you're Judy Sleed?
Sometimes I wonder.
What do you think sometimes, seriously?
Because it's not so easy to be Judy Sleed.
Oh.
And then we are on different local channels in Hauppauge area and Riverhead. Riverhead? Yeah.
Well,
area.
New York, you're on channel 35 at 5:30 on Tuesdays.
Oh, yes.
You're opposite of one of my dearest friends on on NBC.
Cindy?
Cindy. You and Cindy, I'm having the two buttons. I can't believe Judy Sleed and Cindy Adams on the same moment. It was like mind-boggling. Oh.
Yes, it must have been.
It was funny. It was
but
funny.
I was better, I'm sure.
You were pretty.
Oh, thank you. So I'm going to say, I want to thank all my underwriters. I'm sure it's on the screen there. And I want all the crew. We have an extra person today. And of course, LTV for letting us use the studio and having this chit-chat with different stars. And we're going to have another nice show next week. And goodbye, everybody. I wave.
Well, who are you waving to?
Well, whoever's watching, bye. And don't forget to tune in next week.
I'm supposed to wave too?
Yes.
I don't wave to people.
This waving goes to my friend Judy. I'll never forget the time we went to Las Vegas together, and she takes this coin and then she puts it in the machine.